To have a quick chat about Beyond the Sun. Have either of you two played this game at
I
all?
love Beyond the
I
Sun.
have seen it. I haven't played it. Do you own it?
I
Or-
don't own it. It is on my wish list to get, but I will ask you a question. Hey, you've played Civilization style games, haven't
Yes.
you? Okay, cool. What's your favorite part of Civilization style games?
Restarting the game. so I
Restarting
can-
the tech tree. That's
Yes.
the right answer, Ralph. Well done. The tech tree in the Civilization style. No, so Beyond the Sun is basically what is affectionately referred to as Tech Tree the game.
Yeah.
Because the main concept of this game is that it is a worker placement game crossed with a little bit of area control and a bit of resource management. Not a lot of it. But the main concept of the game is that we have this massive tech tree board, which starts with 4 different level 1 powers, and you only have 1 worker. You can move your worker from these basic spaces, and then these technologies, you can research them to activate the ability on the card, or sorry, not activate the card, the ability to move your worker onto that card to activate the ability that you have.
Yep.
And then you have level 1 abilities, level 2, level 3, and bonker level 4 abilities. But to get access to those abilities, you have to research all the things before it. So imagine like a big, almost like a big pyramid funneling you. You can really start specializing because one end of it will be science related, one will be like area control related, one will be resource related, and then you can kind of mix and match these technologies and to kind of start specializing your corporation. So the game is a worker placement game, but as I said, you only have 1 worker, so you have to make a choice each turn. What do I want to do? Do I want to do an ability to get the area control? Because as I said, there's this little area control game going on the side of the board where we essentially have to turn little production cubes into either spaceships or people.
Yeah.
And you can turn people into spaceships. Don't ask me
That's
how that.
the weirdest part
Don't
of the
ask
game.
me how that
Yeah.
resource conversion works, but you can turn
And you can turn. There are some cards that let you turn spaceships back into people.
It's really weird. There are
Yeah.
three different resources in the game. Or then there's basically these little cubes, which are just resources they refer to it as, and then you can turn those into people or spaceships, right? You can convert
Are they
them.
robots?
Yeah, probably.
Because that makes a bit of sense.
Yeah,
If it's like a piece of metal.
It's basically androids, but the
Transformers
icon,
are more
the
fun.
icon looks like a person, so therefore just like the image it conjures up is that you can turn it is people, right? But this there's a game, so what you're trying to do is you have a board. That board allows you to take certain amount of ore and certain amount of these resource cubes every turn. You're trying to then keep up because you can only get access to certain amounts of them by doing either researching enough the technology that allows you to, or taking control of planets in this area control thing, because those will give you basically more production, more resource,
And sometimes there are objectives.
and
So,
sometimes
yeah.
they give you victory points,
Yeah.
right? But
Sometimes there's
sometimes,
objectives.
but the big
why
points.
is there objectives sometimes?
No.
Sorry, on the planets. Some
Yeah.
planets,
Oh, okay.
some planets may say, "Hey, if you
Sorry.
have this one, this is worth 5 VP if blank."
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
there are some depending on how the objectives randomly come out,
Mm-hmm.
none of them may be related to
Yeah,
the planets.
But the big
Okay.
points come from if you can actually research the level 4 techs, they
Yeah.
are worth mega points and big, like game breaking, rule breaking sort of things. And so this game, I don't really want to talk about it too much longer because I do want to go into a bit of an in-depth dive of this later. But Damo, this game is one of those ones where it's like, it really feels weird at the start because when you start researching tech, you're like, oh, I can have access to any tech. And it's like, nah, you don't have access to every tech. You really need to actually start thinking about how you do it because, the one thing
Can you give me an example of a tech card?
so it may say, hey, you can actually spend four ore to research any level 3 technology.
Yeah.
Right? That's
Okay.
really big. Now, I must say, the one thing that I haven't actually pointed out is that when I, the level 2, 3, and 4 technologies don't start face up on the board.
Okay.
When I go to research a level 2 tech, they give me 2 cards of the color technology that I want, blue, green, red, or yellow, depending on where I am. So if I've gone from the level 1 blue, the level 2 must have the color blue in there at some point because we're just continuing on. But I get to then choose one of those 2 technologies and put it face up.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I now immediately have made this technology, and now, but anyone else who at the table, they can start to research up that same track and get access to the technologies that I, have made available.
You do get a bonus for researching the technology.
You do want to be first, but you do open it up so now everyone else can go, ooh, that
like
really
they saw that synergy. And
that's right.
Like,
Yeah, and the other advantage, look, I can't remember the name of the card. It's been a little while since I played. But for instance, there are basic actions which allow you to do a one-to-one conversion.
It's like a terraforming. There's terraforming, resource
very
conversion,
simple.
all this
but
kind of stuff.
You may have text that will say you can do that as a 1-to-2 and put a spaceship out. Okay. So that's really where the value in a lot of the technology cards are. It's coming back to what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about improving your engine.
Yes.
And finding the right path in technologies, because sometimes depending on the objective, you need to actually split your path. And that, to me, that's where the game gets really hard, is when you're forced to research two different trees at the same time.
Yep.
Also, timing is a big thing,
Yeah.
because every technology isn't actually accessible by everyone at the same time.
Yep.
Like, it may only have one space. So you can never keep researching the same thing over and over again. You have to always go around the board. So if you leave, you open up that space for someone to go and research and like use the power, and you may not be able to come back to it. So.
I will say, like, I like the game, but the first time I played it, I bounced off it.
Me too.
It had nothing to do with the game itself. Had to do with the iconography. It didn't make any sense to me. Again, that whole thing, spaceships can become people.
Yep.
But then also you have a look at your player board, and I remember asking, why do I have stars and letterboxes? Because to me, that's what it looked like.
Mine
it's
was,
like,
I went, why do I have the Imperial logo
Yes.
from Star Wars and a weed symbol? Like,
Yeah.
as if we're about to go get smoke pot. Like, legitimately, it
strange.
looks like a weed leaf.
Smoke pot and watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mate.
So yeah, that's where I bounced off the game. But I got to play it again on BGA. Got a couple pointers on how to play, because it turns out that when I was taught the game, it was at a game day. I was also helping out and stuff, so I was kind of in and out. So I missed a bunch of the rules, but
that would have been fun.
yeah, as you do. But I did really like the game. I really enjoyed it. The fact that the tech tree is not set gives you.
So is it a random draw every
it is,
time?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But so for example, if I have to draw, like I said, if I'm going up the blue side, I would draw a card, and if there's no blue symbol, that goes onto the bottom of the deck. So there's level 1 deck, level 2 deck.
Okay, so there's specific blue
That's
decks
right,
that sits in that
Yes.
slot.
And
but
so
it
I have to
isn't-
keep drawing until, like, they could be multicolored. So I could have a blue and a yellow, but
Yeah.
so long as it has
Okay.
the color of the technology before it,
Yeah.
then that's one of the two
Ah.
cards I can select, and then I keep drawing for the second one. I look at them, and then I can go, okay, I want this one because maybe it's better for me now, or maybe I place that one because I'm trying to tempt my enemies into going up that tech tree and
And you
them
can
to
totally hate draft for level 3
Absolutely.
and level
You
4
can.
decks.
I just
tech.
I just had a thought in my head. Playing a game of Twilight Imperium, however, one of your opponents randomly pick whatever tech you get.
We've done that. It crippled me.
No, that's the strategy card. Tech like gravity drive, the color, the tech tree, and that.
Hated
Like
that
someone else
gravity
gives you
drive.
something.
Jeez, that pissed me off.
Anyway, the reason why I just wanted to bring it up though is because I really like this game. It really tickles my brain in a way. Like, I'm not really spending a lot of time on the area control of this game because it's not really the selling point. The selling point is the tech tree.
It's like viticulture area control. You can like
yeah,
forget about
it's
that.
exactly like
Yeah,
that. But
and-
it is it is a main concept of the game, and it does actually mean that you can get victory points earlier in the game because you can actually like colonize planets, which then force you to draw another planet. So like, if you're on it, you can have a bonus specific for right now, or you can colonize it, which means you take the card and then you get a permanent bonus that only you have access to for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
but then you lose some of your production that you were banking on from that world. There's things going on there, but I really dig it. I want to play it some more, but it is one of those games that is very white. It, as you said, it's like.
What does that mean?
It's
Very
like,
There's almost no artwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how Hansa Teutonica. This is as white.
That's beige.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is
Yeah.
as white as Hansa Teutonica is beige.
So
It's very.
It's
white.
honestly,
it sounds weird, but
if you-
trust
I just
me.
imagine this random black guy
If
overseas
you-
is playing the game and he's like, "What do you mean it's white?"
if you spat out a generic chart out of Excel,
Okay.
you'd get this game.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks
fair
like.
enough. Okay.
It looks
so,
like an
so
Excel
how
spreadsheet,
long does
yeah.
this game take?
About
to
an hour
play?
and a half.
Oh,
You
so
can-
it's
you can.
like a mid to heavy game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Look, first playthrough can go long if you don't understand the concepts, and there's a lot of stuff going on here, but you can knock out a game easy in 90
Yeah.
minutes. It's
Okay.
Um,
This or Guile?
Gaia
Oh,
project.
Gaia hands
Gaia
down. Yeah,
project.
Right.
Gaia.
But they are completely different games.
Yeah.
They are completely different things.
Fair enough.
I would say that don't play it at 2.
No, you need 3. You need at least 3.
Why so?
Because
You need people challenging on area
Yeah.
control.
like, because a lot of the techs only have one spot,
Okay.
or
So that doesn't change per player count.
no,
Okay.
no, and or they'll have things like they'll have 2 spots, but the second spot, and only some cards have this, but the second spot is
Cost you an all to do it.
is like it will cost you an arm.
So I
to
feel
use
like
it-
that's an
use it.
easy thing to adjust per player count. They can say if you're playing a 3-player game, every tech has 2 spots. Like
I don't
Look,
know.
I would say
I don't know.
optimal is 3. You can play it at 4, but unless you've got 4 people who are really confident in the game, it could push long and it
Yeah,
can feel like
okay.
maybe
Yeah.
you have a lot
So
of
I agree.
downtime.
player one.
But 3-player would zip by. I
Yeah.
highly recommend this game. Damon and I really enjoy it. I really want to play it with you guys because I think it's,
So
again,
is this on Board Game Arena?
it is on
Yes.
Board Game Arena.
Yes.
And actually, that was the first time I ever played it, but then I did get to play it in person ages ago. But it was only like a half game. But I'm like, then I started playing another game on BG, and I'm like, I've got to talk about this game because it's so good. But like I said, if you do enjoy the research or the tech, like this research and action, worker placement, it is really good. It's actually just really good in general.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, look, it again.
It
great.
is very. It is very. What's not decisive? It's the one where if you either love it or you hate it. There's really not.
Polarizing.
You're polarizing. That's what it is.
So it's polarizing white.
Yes,
Yes.
pretty much. Like
Yeah.
if you shine a light on it, you
Yeah.
could blind yourself.
Like you
So-
can go to the paint section in Bunnings and see it in the chart.
Yeah,
Absolutely
It's just oversaturated. That's all it is. You know, too
Absolutely.
much light.
All right. Well, look. Let's get